Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Semi Soccer Experts Podcast, also known as the C
See,
Podcast. All right, we have an interesting episode today. Adrian, what episode number are we on right now?
we are number 45. 45 episodes in.
Number
Interesting
45,
number to
almost
say the
there
least.
to 50, almost halfway there. So it's going to be really interesting once we hit that number 50. Anything interesting about the number 45 that I could think of?
Glad you asked. As much as I hate Man City, I know this one player who wore 45 when he was there. When we were going back and forth with them with the title was Mario Balotelli, your homeboy from Inter. He's actually worn the number for I think over 10 years now. I don't know if he wore it with Inter,
Yeah,
but I know it was
I don't
synonymous when he
remember him.
was wearing against City.
I don't remember him wearing it at Inter. I don't remember much of that era, to be honest. I don't remember him because he didn't really do much. He was a young starlet at Inter, but at that time he was always an AC Milan fan. So I think I forgot after Inter where he went. I think he went to Man City because Roberto Mancini liked him.
Yeah.
And he brought him over to Man City, and then eventually he had the falling out with Mancini. And then I think that's when he went to AC Milan. Then he went to Liverpool.
Yeah.
And then after
And then it went
Liverpool,
to shit from there.
yeah. So right now, last I checked, I think he's playing in Serie B. He's playing in the
Yeah, second league in
second league
Italy.
in Italy. Oh, he was at Marseille for a while too. He spent some time in France.
Yeah, he definitely did. But that's what brought me, because when I thought 45, I was like, wait, Balotelli, that was his number. I'm pretty sure because I remember, even though I hate Man City, I always respected Balo. Because for me, during that time, I always thought he was going to be the next big striker, pretty much up until like this year now, he would be, the most prolific striker, scoring at least like 30, 40 goals a season. He had the potential and everything, but I think the fame really hit him, and he just didn't know how to cope with it. He just wanted to party a lot, and for me, it feels like he's just one of those what if type of players who just didn't meet his potential at all. He was there in Man City too, but I guess he just didn't perform. He didn't take it seriously. As everybody can tell from all the videos and everything, but he was chilling with all the rappers, celebrities, etc. But nah, I think his peak ultimately was Euro 2012 when he scored those 2 goals against Germany.
Yeah, no, Mario Balotelli was a player with a lot of potential, and like you said, he had other priorities in his life outside of football. His high, I'm looking here through Wikipedia, and his highest goal tally for a season was 33 goals and 61 appearances for Nice. I mean, not in a season, but in his time in the playing club. He's got 59 appearances with Inter. He scored 20 goals, and that was as a young kid. So to be honest, I don't think that's too bad. And then with Man City, he had another 20 goals and 54 appearances. So it was there consistently for a while until he went to Marseille and then back to Italy, where now he hasn't hit double digits in a while. So he's still young. He's still 30 years old. It's not too old for a striker. So I'm sure if he decides to get everything together, I'm sure he can get back to his glory days if you consider those his glory days or not.
To be honest, I'm surprised he didn't go to MLS. He would love it there, but I don't know. That's
All
interesting.
right. Yeah, no, for sure. But let's move on to our first topic of the day. Adrian, what do you got for us?
Yes, so we're pretty much bringing out the breaking news because today's just been full of news. We're recording on a Friday, and one of the biggest news that came out from today was NBCSN is going to be discontinued at the end of this year. So if you're not aware, NBCSN is the current rights holders for the English Premier League, and they feature along with Peacock, our friends there. They featured a lot of pretty much all the games, but it's like split to a certain extent. Even though if you look at it on a week by week basis, it's pretty much like 80% NBCSN and like 20% Peacock, and they only show like a handful of games. So I don't know what's NBC's decision by this. They did mention that more soccer content is going to be streamed or distributed via Peacock. So I think that's what they're trying to do, which should have been done, since the beginning. But it's kind of surprising to see NBCSN go because they don't just feature just the EPL. They feature a lot of hockey, NASCAR, and rugby as well, along with horse racing, I believe, as well. So they have a lot of content in its own self. So I'm kind of surprised they've done it. But I think in this day and age, especially with a lot of things being streamed and people like cutting the cord on the cable, I think this is NBC's plan just to ditch that and just move on. A lot of these content being switched over to the USA network going forward.
Yeah, so the thing with with Peacock and NBC Sports, obviously they need to put that content somewhere. NBC has the rights for the Premier League. That's how many games in a season? I don't know, but they have to show that content, especially if people are paying for it. Now, the thing with NBC Sports is I'm surprised they decide to cut it because that would be the direct competitor to ESPN Plus. You have a lot of content, like you said. You have horse racing, you have NASCAR, you have hockey. I believe they also have golf and some tennis.
Yeah, they do.
Events. So it is in competition with ESPN. I mean, not at the same level because ESPN has just way more content, but it is in competition, and that would be the platform for future rights. Obviously, one day the rights for the Serie A are going to come up, the rights for the Bundesliga, and so on and so forth, and not just soccer. You got American football, you got baseball. Those rights will come for renewal again. NBC gets rid of this platform, they have nothing to bargain with.
That was an article I was reading on I think on the Washington Post. They were discussing about NBCSN's future, especially with hockey, because they do have a good partnership with hockey, and their contract's actually up at the end of this year. But there's a lot of sources saying that they're going to eventually renew with hockey and probably just distribute majority of the games on the USA network. What's an interesting stat was that they're saying that the USA Network is featured in pretty much almost all the homes. It's like probably like 2 or 3 million more than NBCSN. And this is like around 40 to 50 million homes we're talking about. So, obviously when you think about that, it's okay, maybe not so much. But then again, at the same time, there's so much content that can be pulled out. And USA already has their plethora of shows. They show a lot of drama shows. They show wrestling. They show other different types of reruns as well. So I don't know if they're going to get rid of the reruns or whatever, but I'm just intrigued to see where it goes. I grew up pretty much watching NBCSN because, the EPL has been featured for, I think, almost like 7 years, more or less, because before NBCSN, if I'm not wrong, it was Fox Sports that had the EPL, correct?
I don't remember because I'm not an
Years
EPL
ago.
fan, I'm a Serie A fan. But at the same time, like you said, USA Network has their own content. They have their own stuff. Again, it doesn't make sense to get rid of a studio that already has dedicated sports people, the anchors, the producers, the people behind the scenes. You get rid of that network, you get rid of that studio. You're just gonna shove content into a network that doesn't work with sports. It's a different ball game. It's like if ESPN decides to cease to exist, then they're going to put everything on Disney Channel. That wouldn't make sense. So I think personally, it's a bad move on NBC. I think from the beginning, they should have just had all the EPL back on NBC. Because prior to Peacock, I was looking into buying NBC because I was like, I'm already paying for ESPN Plus, and I might as well buy NBC if I want to watch some NASCAR or horse racing or hockey, because I do enjoy a little bit of hockey. But again, I think this is a dumb move. And the flip side to all this, I believe it's to try to push people into the Peacock streaming service.
Yeah. But if they were to do that, I think they have to do it very strategically in the sense that they have to put not just soccer, but like all the other content that you're going to distribute too. Maybe some hockey games or like football games, because they do show football on Sundays. Like they're known for showing football on NBC. That's prime time. But at the same time, maybe if you want to have it not just on NBC, but also streamed on Peacock, so you get like a double advantage for people who do not have cable, they can just have Peacock and just watch it freely there. But like I said, it's it's a lot of there depending on the money and also on what they think is best. Like I said earlier, I think this is a move being done just to have more people invested in streaming, because that is pretty much the course of action, especially their demographic that they're featuring, like 18 to 49. That's a lot of people who have invested more into streaming going forward, because cable bills has just been ridiculous. And now, especially now that everything you have to stream just to watch nowadays, it's pretty much no point of even having cable in the first place.
Right. Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't make sense to have cable. And like you said, everything's moving into streaming. So, but I just don't like the way they're going about it. I'm not interested for the rest of the content that Peacock has to offer. They did bring in The Office to Peacock, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not interested in paying for The Office. I think they also have Parks and Recs. I'm not mistaken, but that's just me.
No, I get it too, because like I said, and I think they also left a sour taste with you, because they haven't featured as many games as you expected. Because I know you purchased Peacock to watch like more Everton games because of James and the Colombian national players, and I believe that they failed NBC as a whole on trying to like really promote a lot of soccer fans to invest into Peacock, because a year ago you had NBC Gold, and NBC Gold featured a good amount of games. Like that ratio, I would say, was at least like 70, almost 60-40, to be honest, because a lot of games were featured on NBC Gold, especially when they had United games on NBC Gold, and I had to ask my friend Billy for his password because I was not going to pay that fucking annual fee, because they were just charging annual fee. But it's all worth it because you're still paying the same price as monthly. But anyways, that being said, I think they should have gone that direction, like how Gold was, and I think they should have kept that. And pretty much, it would have been a lot better if done that. But obviously, they're like flip flopping on what content shown on Peacock. It's like you don't even know. It's like a week by week basis on what's gonna be on Peacock, because you pretty much do not know. Like I have to check on Twitter just to check on the EPL links and just saying, hey, what's on NBCSN, what's on NBC, what's on Peacock, is United going to be in? Great, fine, I'll stream on PlayStation, etc. So, I feel like it made it a lot more confusing and more of a headache for a lot of consumers.
No, 100%. I feel you, but this is the way the streaming wars are going to be heading towards, and I think the consumers are going to suffer a little bit before everything comes together.
I think we're pretty much suffering right now until somebody figures out a plan to stream all the soccer content. Like what we mentioned prior to going on air, Grant Wall, a soccer journalist, he posted on Twitter saying, when are we gonna have like just one service, like a service that streams all soccer games from all the leagues worldwide into just one platform. Granted, it's probably not gonna be cheap. Like if it's like $50 a month or so, shit, I'll pay for it. If it's just soccer content all over the world, like you include MLS, EPL, Serie A, Champions League, World Cup qualifiers, Euro qualifiers, you include all that in a package, I believe you're gonna get people to invest in that. And I just don't know. I don't know how you're able to do it, especially in the U.S., because so many markets, so many competition that you have to pull out of. So I kind of get why it's not being shown like in that aspect. But I think we should be able to get it. Hopefully, someone's smart enough or somebody's willing to invest that much money to play in the content, because people will buy that shit.
No, absolutely. People will buy it. I think the best way to achieve that type of goal is that you gotta get the whole Continental Association behind such an idea. You gotta get UEFA, you gotta get FIFA, the CONMEBOL, the CONCACAF, and they gotta figure out a structure. Because, for example, if you're gonna have the entire EPL or the La Liga, which of those two leagues gets the majority of the money if it's all under one umbrella under UEFA. So it is a big logistical hurdle and financial hurdle to figure out.
Yeah, because you got to like appease to a lot of different federations. You got to make sure that the rights are equally distributed. It's a logistical nightmare, to say the least. So, but like I said, hopefully somebody does invest in it because that is a big money deal, and I will shell out money just to get that on a monthly basis, to say the least.
All right. Enough about streaming wars. What is our next topic, Adrian? What do you got for us tonight?
So, since we're keeping in the U.S. side, one thing that I did want to talk about was about the new MLS crest. So, if you haven't seen right now, but Montreal has actually came out with a new crest. They're managed by Thierry Henry, and
Also, not just the new crest, but a whole rebranding.
yeah, a whole
The name as well.
rebranding of their logo, their jerseys, everything. So it's really, when I first looked at it, I was like, wow, they actually look like a legit soccer team, to say the least. So it was like, it's whoever did that, the whole design, the graphic design team, marketing, etc. Whoever did that deserves a fucking pay raise, because that is quality right there. And shoot, if I lived in Montreal, I would get a jersey right then and there, because it looks really dope, and it looks what's that word I'm looking for? It looks modern in this day and age of this type of soccer crest and logo.
Yeah, no, I think of the most recent MLS crest, the Montreal, they're now going by Club de Foot de Montreal. I guess that's French for Football Club of Montreal. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a French speaker. But, I think it's a beautiful crest one. The middle part is snowflake, my fault, snowflake. And if you look at it, it's surrounded by M's.
Yeah.
In the snowflake, it's surrounded by M's, and I think it's such a clever design, to represent the city of Montreal. And also I think it's very important that they drop the Impact name. Dropping that Impact name, it kind of, it worked in the 90s. It worked in the NASL era. I do believe that team was from the NASL era, or that that name. But again, it worked for the 90s. It worked when they played in the NASL. Club de Foot, it gives such like you said, a modern touch to it, a modern sounding name, and I can't wait to what the jersey is going to look like. I was never a fan of the black and blue stripes with that logo. Obviously, it looks great.
I was gonna say like Inter Milan or something.
Yeah, no, but for some reason the way they did there, maybe it was because of the Adidas, the way it was stitched or made, it just never looked good to me. When I look at a Nike kit for Inter Milan, it looks great. When I looked at Montreal, it doesn't look good. When I look at Atalanta, it looks great.
Yeah.
Montreal, for some reason, just couldn't pull it off. They moved away from the shield and that very French-looking symbol that you see, especially in New Orleans.
Yeah, the Saints. I think that's like a Saint logo.
It signifies a saint. They moved away from it. I think they should have kept something like that involved. I don't know how they would have done it, but they should have kept something on it just to signify it's still French. But regardless, the snowflake looks great. It looks beautiful. It matches the gray, black, blue color scheme, matches beautifully. I'm very happy for this crest. I will get a jersey if I can.
That's the other thing too. You just pointed out to me. I didn't realize there was like little M's assembled on the side of it. I thought it was just a big ass snowflake, and then when I just really looked into it, I was like, oh wow. So somebody really took care of it and really put some thought into it. Because
they got the M's, but you also got the arrows going towards the M, going towards the middle.
Exactly.
And I'm sure that was purposely done. Those arrows, like signifying unity or togetherness. I think they did incorporate the French symbol. Now I'm looking at it completely.
Yeah.
So they did incorporate.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's on the corner, like on the middle
side.
Yeah, in the middles. Yeah, middle corner.
Middle side. Yeah. So, I'm again, I'm very happy with what they came up with. The name, some people were talking about the name. I think the name is fine. If that's what it sounds in French, I think it's appropriate because, again, Montreal is
they're a French-speaking city. Like, right? Why not?
No, absolutely. So I think it's a beautifully appropriate. I just can't wait to see the jersey. That's what I want to see. I'm not a fan of this Adidas half collar thing, like a collar going like this. I'm not a fan of that. You know, I want to see
But they
very.
make it better for the EPL for United.
Nah, I mean, the one you have on is good. The one you have on is fine.
Quality
They just
mate.
have this
Yeah, I
V.
know what you're getting about, like a little collar looking thing. It's
I
so
hate.
weird that you do it for MLS. But like outside of MLS, Adidas is on point with their jerseys for a majority. I think there's some I can say.
No, I hate this collar thing, man. I think this is
And it's
ridiculous.
funny because United used to have a collar jersey, but that's when we were still with Nike. Like
See,
let's
but
like
that collar is fine. Like the Bayern had a collar for their Adidas kit.
no,
Looks
they
fine.
actually did it with Real Madrid, like when Ronaldo was there, like 2011,
Yes, and that one looked good. But this collar thing, the V-neck thing, it just doesn't work. I'm like, yo, this is stupid. Like, design a better kit, better looking kit.
Yeah.
But going back to the Montreal thing, I read that one of the quotes regarding the logo, especially with the snow, is that any team that goes to Montreal has to fight through the blizzard.
Yeah, and if you've never traveled to Canada, especially at this time of year, it gets ridiculously cold. It's always I'm pretty much assuming it's snowing all the time. Temperatures like below freezing. It is northeast, almost like it's pretty much northeast as you can get. So I wouldn't, that's what I'm saying. It makes sense for the snow to signify that, especially during like the winter and like even early fall, because that's what Canada's known for. And like I said, it is a nice touch to it. Like I give that overhaul a 10 out of 10. Give whoever did that a pay raise or a freaking promotion because they deserve it.
No, right. I think it's a phenomenal kid. But let's move on to the next crest.
We go from
The next
great
one.
to good.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the Houston Dynamo. Now, this crest has been out for I think a year now.
Since November.
Since November, right? So it's one of the more newer. I think it's been out for longer than that, to be honest. Let me see here.
Press release. It mentioned it was November 17th, so I'm pretty sure it was like right around that time. Feels longer probably because it's been a while, but the Dynamo it's okay, to say the least. For me, it looks like just HD written into it in the middle of the symbol, and then it just below it has Houston Dynamo FC with a little lightning bolt right below it. So it's okay, I wouldn't give it be an R, just be like I would even go to say
I'm
it's
not
a
a
little
fan of
tacky.
I think they did the hexagon. Is that a hexagon or octagon?
I forget my shapes.
1, 2, 3. It's a hexagon 6 times. So I think the hexagon is fine. The color scheme fine. There's a concept. I don't know what the concept, but the concept with the H and the D, I'm not sure what they were trying to do there.
Let's say it looks like HD, high
Yeah,
definition.
you could say it looks HD. Now, I'd say the Thunderbolts, maybe it's because a dynamo produces electricity. Okay, have the Thunderbolt there. But besides that, I don't know what Houston has to do with electricity or lightning. I'm not familiar with that relationship. It's not like Montreal has the snowflake.
Mm-hmm.
That's equate. Like if you're from Montreal and you see no snowflake, you make that connection. The Houston Dynamo, I think of Houston, I think of Texas, I think of the desert, I think of a tumbleweed. If they put a tumbleweed there on the crest, I'd see more of a relationship there. But I don't know. The electricity, I'm not sure. Yeah. But again, I'm just not. I like the color. The darker, it's like a dark. Is it a black or
black
dark
and orange type of feel?
Is it black
orange?
Like
for me, it kind of relates to how the Astros are. The baseball team. That's almost the same type of logo and color scheme, and the vibes that I'm getting from it.
Yeah, okay, that I'd see. But again, I'm not a fan with that HD. That's the thing that threw me off. I'm like, yo, y'all can do better than this.
Yeah, honestly, like if you were to compare the two, I'm really trying to not be as much as an asshole, if anything, but If you were to compare the Montreal crest compared to the Houston Dynamo crest, there's levels to this. You
Oh
can
yeah.
tell like whoever created the Montreal crest is somebody who actually is a fan of soccer, football, whatever you want to call it as, and they know their shit and they took their time and developed it. For me personally, I think whoever developed the Houston Dynamo one is probably not a soccer fan. If they are a soccer fan, then hey, God bless you. Somebody else could have done a better job. I'm not saying I could have, but if I had that talent and expertise, I would obviously took more time to figure out. Okay, Houston, let's put something else in, like make it look presentable, make it look like it's soccer. It doesn't have a soccer feel to it more than anything. So that's why I think the logo itself, it doesn't appeal to me. And like for example, like you see here how Manchester United crest has been like this for like 100 years. This is like not something like this, but if you're making a football logo look presentable, make it something that sticks to fans and it's going to be echoed and passed down through tradition, because that's how a lot of football logos are maintained, and that's how a lot of teams get their support, because a lot of people believe in the crest, believe in the logo, and that's like a saying, like you fight for the crest when you're playing a game, fighting for the team. That's my spiel on it.
No, no, 100%. But again, I think you're right. The Houston Dynamo one was probably not made by someone who's familiar with more soccer logos, the more traditional logos. So I'm not a fan. I think you said it yourself. You're not a fan of that one either. I'll let you take your pick. You want to talk about Chicago or St. Louis?
Oh Jesus, St. Louis is doing one. I know we were talking about Chicago. I didn't even realize St. Louis. I'll take a look at St. Louis in a second, but I know there's been talks that Chicago is actually going to redo their logo for a second time in like a span of like 2-3 years. So it's I don't know. I think their recent logo was okay, a lot better than Houston to be honest. But it was a decent logo. They try to do what they can. I know they're called Chicago Fire, because the firefighters and everything associated with that, which is cool. But if the fans don't like it, obviously, they should probably like make or even survey the fans, like, hey, we got ideas of 3 different logos. What you like, which is best. So that's what I think they should do.
So at least with the Chicago logo, if anyone doesn't remember the old traditional logo, it was more of a traditional fire badge. It represented the Great Chicago Fire from way back when. So they threw a representation of that when they originally made the MLS team. So that logo was in place since '96, and they recently rebranded about a year ago into the current crest, which is just an oval shape, and then you have what looks like a crown on top and a crown underneath to represent the flames. At first, to be honest, I didn't like that logo at all, but I actually got a Chicago Fire jersey, because out of all the jerseys that came out this year, the Chicago Fire had the best one. So I grabbed it, and honestly, it grew on me. Like once I had that jersey, that logo kind of grew on me. So I was actually pretty disappointed that they're going to rebrand. But like you said, the fans were when that logo came out, the fans were not having it. The fans is like, what is this? And I can see that. I can see why they'd be upset. The Chicago Fire current logo right now looks like somebody did it on Photoshop. A 16-year-old could have done it. It's just way too simple. I see the symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it, but it's just too simple.
I think they tried a little too hard on the symbolism. That's my take on it.
I'm sure that, yeah, I mean, they tried too hard, but it's too simple. There's not much going on there.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I think they were just like, okay, we're going to emphasize fire. We're going to do that and then just make it look like that. That's what I think.
And it's not like the Montreal one where it's a snowflake. It's one thing, it's a snowflake, but there's a lot going on. So there's a lot of symbolism, but it's not a lot of clutter with the Montreal logo. There's like that balance, and it works beautifully well. So yes, the rumor has it that they're actually going to rebrand again. And this is coming after the fact that, the Chicago Fire used to play in their old stadium on the outskirts of Chicago, in the suburbs of Chicago. and now they're actually moved into the new stadium. Not the new stadium, but the stadium where I think it's the Chicago Bears football team that play. They're sharing the stadium with them, which is an $80,000 seated stadium. And I think the idea of, this MLS team actually playing the proper city of Chicago, it's not like the Red Bulls that play in New Jersey. Mind you, I love the Red Bulls, and NYCFC playing in a baseball field. To be honest, the one thing the Chicago Fire got right is, they're playing in the city proper. They're playing in a nice stadium, and it's unfortunate because of COVID. I think they would have gotten so many more fans going out to those games, because Chicago Fire never really had a good attendance to what I remember. And I think they have one championship, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't even know they won a championship.
They won a champ. They have one championship. I want to say it was 98. And I wasn't the first one, because I think DC won the first one in 96. Let me just look up here. Chicago Fire. But yeah, Chicago has a championship, and it is. They won the U.S. Open Cup 3 times: 2000, 2003, 2006. And yes, I was right. They won 98.
Oh shit! Look at you.
I was right. So yeah, and then like I said, they're going to rebrand again, and I think the current crest, yes, it's not great, but it's not bad. I think this, it is simple, but it's not bad. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, and I do like the color scheme that they have going on right now with the I want to say a beige yellow, an orange yellow type color going on, and the more lighter red, not the red that you have in Manchester United, but more with a pinkish tone.
The light red, pretty much.
Like a light red, yeah. And I think it works. And the jersey, listen, out of all the MLS jerseys that came out, the Chicago Fire had the best jersey. Chicago Fire had the best jersey.
I think if they were to do an overhaul, though, I think they should do it based on the Chicago colors, because if you're not familiar with the Chicago colors, like a light blue, white, and like red stripes, the flag, something in retrospect to that you can add on. And I feel like if they were to take some of that and add it to the new Chicago crest, I would, make it look somewhat like that. Not too cheesy in a sense, but
I'm not a fan of that sky blue, with that Smurf color. I'm not a fan. I like the color scheme. I'm telling you, I love the color scheme that they work with.
Yeah. But I don't know. For me, I think, that would be a cool concept, because it does represent Chicago in another way. But, it's different as, how you can do it. There's different ways you can do it. Like I said, I'm not a graphic designer or anything. But I do have I think I have a good idea of what good taste is. So that's just my 2 cents. But like I said, it's up to them to figure out what they want to do for Chicago. And hopefully they do get it right, because Chicago is another big city, big market, big city. And they obviously should be doing a lot better. They have the potential to gain a lot of fans. There's a big demographic out there that they could appeal to. So hopefully in the near future, they do look to do a new crest. And hopefully the fans do like it going forward. With that being said, though, since you did mention St. Louis, I did take a peek at it, and I was like, what the hell is this? But then I realized, oh wait, St. Louis, soccer city. And then I saw the arch, because that's a symbolization of, I think, the famous arch over in St. Louis and their rivers. So it makes sense in a way, but I don't know. It looks it looks like 3/4 of it is portraying the arch and like the rivers. And then you got like 1/4 of it showing St. Louis City, which I don't know. I'm not a fan of, to say the least.
So yeah, the part where it has St. Louis City like on a side,
yeah,
I feel like
they could have done that on the top.
They could have done that at the top. They kind of they said, we're gonna cram this in here.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I think the concept is great. You have the arch, you have the 2 rivers, because you have the Mississippi and the Missouri, a big part of the land there, of the city of St. Louis. And just for those who don't know, St. Louis is a hotbed for soccer.
Yeah.
It's a big, big demand for soccer there, especially youth soccer. It's huge down there. So it's about time that they get a professional team in the city. But yes, talking about the logos, the color, I think the color scheme is great.
Yeah, I agree.
The same thing, reddish pink, and the navy blue. And based on what I'm looking at, I'm pretty sure they're going to do a white accent. So I think the color scheme is going to look great. I want to see this on a jersey. The team is 2 years out?
Yeah. I think they're looking to start next year, 2022, for that season. I think COVID delayed them a bit, so they I think they had to I think they were supposed to start this year, to be honest, but like I said, I think COVID pushed them back a bit, which is understandable because
No, 2023.
oh, okay. So yeah, so they probably were set to do 2022, but now I think with COVID going on, they are going to push. They are starting 2023, which feels so long from now. That's
Right.
the thing further down the line.
Fun fact about St. Louis: it is the first team with the majority owner being a woman.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
We did talk about that. It was a while. That episode was a long time ago.
But check our archives.
Yeah, go check our archives. But I mean, going back, I think if we ranked all 4 logos, how would you rank the logos?
St. Louis has to be St. Louis and Houston has to be dead last for me. I would say right now, because the way Houston was looking, St. Louis last, Houston third, Chicago second, Montreal first.
So I would do Montreal first, Chicago second, St. Louis third, St. Louis third, and Houston last. In my opinion.
I think that's pretty much it. I think we should even let our listeners voice in, put in the comments what you guys think for top 4. Take a look at the crest and logos and let us know what you guys think. With that being said, before we wrap things up, because we always love to go into tangents, the last thing, Super League, if you ever heard us bitch and moan and talk about this, because consistently in the last 5 episodes, there's been rumors, chats, everybody talking about a potential European Super League. The big teams, obviously Madrid, Manchester United, Bayern Munich, etc. They've been rumored to be mentioned in the Super League in itself. And then just recently, like I said, this is a big breaking news type of ordeal. The FIFA came out with a statement saying, yeah, you're not doing that. All in all, FIFA is saying that they don't condone a new Super League. And if it was to happen, they would not recognize it. And if any players were to participate in it, they would not be eligible to play in any FIFA competitions, meaning the World Cups. And they're probably going to pressure UEFA or any, domestic leagues to not let them play in their own country tournaments, like for example, Gold Cup, Euros, oh my God, Copa America, etc. So they're just like, no, we ain't having none of this. I think Real Madrid, because they're pretty much the one in the forefront with this. They're trying to go rogue and want to do the Super League probably with Perez because he thinks that's a super money move for them. But I'm glad FIFA put its foot out and just saying hey, you're not going to do this. If there is, it's going to be a lot of repercussions on your end.
Yeah, no, I think the fact that FIFA said if you play in the Super League or you're associated in any way, you're banned from the FIFA World Cup. And that literally just put the knife in the coffin for any idea of a Super League, because every player wants to play for the majority, 95% of any professional football player wants to represent their country in the Continental Tournament or in the World Cup. And the fact that if I play in a Super League, I don't get that opportunity, that already says one thing from a product point of view, is that you don't get the best talent. The best talent is the talent that plays in the World Cup, that plays in the Euro, that plays in the Copa America. If that talent is not going to be available in the Super League, why would you watch the Super League? Clearly, it's not the best league. We love Messi, we love Ronaldo, we love Mbappe, but those are because of what they also do in the World Cup. Because when they put on the French jersey, Portugal jersey, James has a lot of fans around the world because he's Colombian, because he puts on the Colombian jersey. You know, how many Portuguese fans supported Real Madrid and Juventus now? And at one point in Portuguese history, you know, Benfica was a rival to Real Madrid. You know, so it's very important to put that in perspective. So from a product standpoint, Super League is not Super League because the best players in the world will not play in that tournament.
Yeah, they're kind
And
of
for me,
B squad players in it.
I'm happy, man. I'm happy. I don't want the Super League, you know.
Yeah. I think the Super League would just disrupt what's going on. I'm satisfied with the current scheme of things. I like my Champions League, even though I'm going to be forced to watch Europa League because of United. I don't mind watching that because what's better than to watch some football on the telly on Thursday nights?
No, right. And I think the way from again going back to the product standpoint, the idea of the way the things sit now, it provides competition. You know, there's incentives to get better. There's incentives to produce great players. With the Super League, you're not going to have those incentives. You're not going to produce better players. You're not going to produce a better product.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
especially like in Premier League, how are you going to play in a rainy night in Stoke, playing away? Like those atmospheres, you don't get that.
You don't get that. And, you know, honestly, look at the Premier League now. I think this is one of the most exciting seasons.
It's one of the most competitive seasons
I've seen in a long time. You got teams like Arsenal, Chelsea, who are barely cracking the top 10. You have Man City, Man U, Liverpool fighting for first place.
Guess who's number one?
So, again, it produces such a great product. The idea of competition, the idea of promotion, relegation, the idea that if I don't do well, it's going to be bad.
And the crazy thing is the standings. Like if you were to go on a run, like Arsenal were pretty much almost near relegation zone, like 14th, 15th. Now that they started going on a winning streak, they're literally like a few points away from like top 6, which is crazy. Right. Because you know, in like different years, if you're in 14th, 15th, you wouldn't just have to win. You have to win like 10 games in a row just to get even to scratch the surface of top 6. But now it's just so easy, and you have teams like Aston Villa and Leicester. Even though Leicester won it a couple of years ago, they're still in contention to even win the league again. So it's more interesting, and that's why I love it. That's why I love this season too, because not just because United are first place, that gives me, you know, a little bit more excitement. But you know, the competition is everywhere. You know, it's not like we have Liverpool and City on our backsides. We also have Villa. We have even Everton's making a run for it, and Leicester, who we have to watch out. So it's very competitive, and you know, these next couple of months till the league ends. I feel like we'll get a different EPL. If it's not going to be United, I'm hoping it's not City, but I would be happy if Leicester wins it again, or you get like Aston Villa in there.
You got the same thing going on in La Liga. You know, we have a Real Madrid and Barcelona who are probably the weakest in the last 10 years. Atletico Madrid are running away with the league at 44 points.
Yeah, Atletico's. You may even say that they already took the title home. Because, you know, how Simeone is, his defensive tactics, if he's winning a game 1-0, he's going to shut that shit down and close the game out. That's pretty much Atletico Madrid's style. And they're doing really good this season, too. Unless a massive slip-up and they lose their form, I don't see La Liga getting that competitive. I couldn't be wrong, but, you know, that's how it's been looking like for these past couple of weeks, months.
I mean, Atletico Madrid are only 6 points in front.
And I think they have a game in hand too.
And they have a game in hand. But you look at those places between 2 and 6, it's only 7-point difference. Real Madrid 37, and 6th place is Real Sociedad with 30. That's not a bad competitor. Everybody else got 33, 33, 34, 37. You know, Barcelona in 3rd with 34, Villarreal 1 point behind. You know, it's not like a couple 5 years ago where both Real Madrid and Barcelona would have 50, and the next guy after would be at 30.
Atletico.
You know, Atletico. So this is a very exciting La Liga as well. Let me just look at the Bundesliga really quick. First,
I don't think Bayern are taking
39.
it. Huh?
So nothing's changed there. You got Leipzig 35, Bayern Leverkusen 32, and Borussia Mönchengladbach 31. So it's not too bad either. But just to tie everything together, it's all about that competitive balance. Producing a better product, producing something great on TV. It goes back center circle to what I say all the time. I hate the Super League. Screw the Super League. It's the worst idea. And that's my take on that.
No, I get it. Now, same here. I'm all for what we got. Obviously, if you like what's going on, don't mess it up. And I think this is how it should look going forward. Super League should not exist. Maybe they should have a tournament, of all the teams, like knockoff Champions League in the beginning of the season, something like that. But I think all in all, we're good. I like Champions League format. I like the domestic league. Let's let it be. And that's pretty much all I think we have to say in our latest episode, number 45. Man, we're 45 episodes in.
Almost there to 50.
Yeah, almost there 50. And obviously we want to thank our viewers for watching this. We always try and make every episode as entertaining and intriguing as possible. It's just going to get any better. I'm really stepping up to make our episodes much better, especially when we get to 50. 50 is going to be our baby, and we're almost there, one step at a time.
All right, guys, have a good night. I'll see you guys next episode. Thank you again for watching.
Thank you, guys.